Today we made an offer that the Ukrainians have accepted, which is to enter into a ceasefire and into immediate negotiations to end this conflict in a way that's enduring and sustainable and accounts for their interests, their security, their ability to prosper as a nation.
In a major development in geopolitics, talks between the United States and Ukraine and Saudi Arabia appear to have yielded positive results, with a proposal for a 30-day ceasefire now on the table. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and his officials have accepted the proposal, signaling a potential step towards ending the intense conflict with Russia, though the situation remains uncertain as the Kremlin is yet to respond. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio expressed optimism, stating that the ball is now in Russia's court following the agreement.
Today we made an offer that the Ukrainians have accepted, which is to enter into a ceasefire and into immediate negotiations to end this conflict in a way that's enduring and sustainable and accounts for their interests, their security, their ability to prosper as a nation. Hopefully we'll take this offer now to the Russians, and we hope that they'll say yes, to peace. The ball is now in their court. Wants the war to end, and I think today Ukraine has taken a concrete step in that regard. We hope the Russians will reciprocate.
Number one. Number two, they made concrete steps and concrete proposals, not only accepting our proposal for a full ceasefire, which you can see the details of which are in our joint statement that we released together. But we also got into substantive details on how this war is going to permanently end. What type of next steps from the Ukrainian side. I will talk to my Russian counterpart in the coming days. Secretary Rubio will be with G7 foreign ministers in the next couple of days. We have the NATO Secretary General in the White House on Thursday, and we'll take the process forward from there. As a result of that, and I think as a result of this positive step forward, the President has decided to lift the pause on aid and on our security assistance to Ukraine going forward. And that's effective immediately.
Yes, that's the offer. The offer is to stop the shooting. The goal here is the only way out to end this war is to negotiate out of it. There's no military solution to this war. The solution to this war and the way to end it into and other methods, but they'll obviously be well aware. And our hope is that the Russians will say yes, that they will also agree. So the shooting will stop, the killing will stop, the dying will stop, and the talks can begin about how to end this war permanently in a way that's acceptable and enduring for both sides.
Deadline set, sir.
Well, the deadline is we hope to do this as soon as possible. Every day that goes by, the goal here is peace. That's the President's goal. The best goodwill gesture the Russians can provide is to say yes. To say yes to the offer that the Ukrainians have made to stop the shooting, to stop the fighting, and get to the table. If they do that, that's the best goodwill sign we could see. Obviously, as part of that, Treasury and his counterpart on the Ukrainian side. And so the President, and you see that expressed, both Presidents will instruct the appropriate members of our governments to bring to finality the signature of the deal and the signature of this agreement. So that was communicated today, and that's going to happen. That was not.
In the meantime, Zelensky has made it clear that Ukraine is ready to take this step towards peace. Ukraine's deputy head confirmed that security assistance from the United States has been reinstated, which is an important move in maintaining Ukraine's defense capabilities as discussions progress.
It depends what will be, first of all, if Russia accepts it, what will be their reactions. And of course, if they will be accepted by Russia. Of course, we are ready to work non-stop for the preparing, for the negotiate for the next stage, because of course it's only first step. But it was what I'd like to emphasize. it's a very important that today Ukraine, once again, how we demonstrated all these 3 years, how we're fighting for our independence, our freedom, today we demonstrated to all the world that we want a peace. We are ready to peace, for just and lasting peace. This is very important. I think it's a really important day because, 3 years is a long period of time. And for the people in the world, it's necessary once again to understand, not Ukraine started this war, but Ukraine ready for just and lasting peace.
What is your expectation on the
Щодо припинення вогню,
Так, чи можливо
можна сказати?
Київ привіз сюди ідею, це припинення вогню в
We discussed the frames, we discussed the principles in which can be possible to build the future, some agreements, some the negotiations position of Ukraine, and of course, it's the position of, first of all, it's important to achieve a just and lasting peace. And this is not the place to discuss some very concrete details, because our goal today was, first of all, to discuss the first steps about the possible truce, ceasefire, and we discussed about some questions of our bilateral relations. We discussed about the situation in front line. And of course, will be some time when we will be negotiate exactly about, because a lot of details, as I said.
President Zelensky?
Well,
Чекають там. Можна було взагалі про територіальні поступки?
I think that the expectation of Russia, it's not just from Ukraine. I think from today's this joint statement, this expectation of the world, Russia needs to say very clearly, they want peace or not. They want end this war, which they started or not. And this is today the position of Ukraine was absolutely clear. It's absolutely understandable. And now it's important that the people in the world will understand, because this war, it's created the many crises. And this is make the influence to all the world. And it's important that all the people in the world will understand who want peace,
Do you think that you did that
need to act.
йтиметься про відновлення.
Let me add.
An inconvenient time, I think it's now only technical questions when it will be comfortable for both sides. We are ready. The American part confirmed that they still interest of this. I think it will be settled. I
Okay.
hope very soon.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
The proposed ceasefire would cover the entire front line of the ongoing conflict, not just air and sea sectors as initially speculated. The United States and Ukraine issued a joint statement following the talks in Jeddah, confirming that the ceasefire proposal was for the initial 30-day period with the possibility of an extension if both parties mutually agree. The statement also made clear that any progress towards peace hinges on Russia's willingness to reciprocate. The 8-hour-long negotiation in Saudi Arabia also involved a Ukrainian delegation which did not include Zelensky, and US officials such as US Secretary of State Marco Rubio and US National Security Advisor Mike Waltz were involved. While the ceasefire proposal offers a glimmer of hope for peace, the situation remains fluid and the war's devastating toll continues. As the US prepares to communicate with Russia, the next steps in this fragile peace process remain uncertain, with both sides awaiting Russia's official response to the ceasefire offer.